the most inevitable experience of our everybody's life, and that is death. Swamiji, in his book Know Your Death, had specifically, categorically tried his best to convince the human race that death is not the final destination, but it's an experience. And as you are born, someday you are going to leave this body, these trillions of cells. And because the whole pain, suffering of life, of entire human experience, and the fear of death on one side is so deep and is so frustrating that Swamiji used to say that we should learn ourselves to train our mind, to leave our body, to live, to do the experiments with the body, to experience itself, to start living outside the body, because someday we are going to leave the body. And what he suggested is that death is not the end of life. It is the mind which is born with a certain purpose, with certain quant of energy, which is leaving this body for the next journey. And that's why we should not fear about the death. And this has been the case for thousands of years in all the spiritual world, spirits, religions, all cultures, all dogmas. But the modern medicine has taken a very linear view of life, a very physical view of the life, very materialistic approach. They treated the human body and mind as just it's born, grow up, aging, death, done. But that's not the case. Near death experiences, after death experiences, shared death experiences, samadhi, and dying the people, clinically dead people, coming back to the life, which we call the life medically. So there are thousands of case studies are popping up over the internet and in the scientific dogma. And now the medical scientists are also taking this into consideration slowly, though they are far behind in this arena. But the more and more case studies are popping up. Now, in my context, Swami Vidyanand had done his first experiments, out of body experiment, in 1972. Now, I came in contact with him in 1988, so I did not know about that experiment exactly. But as per the record, the published record, he had decided to leave his body for a certain amount of time and then come back to body in 1972 in Lonavala. But at the last moment, what happened is that some government officers came in and then they alleged that he's going to do suicide and something like that. And they stopped his experiment. And 50 years before, Swamiji had a very startling observation, very controversial observation, and which proved accurate, by the way. He said that my out of body experiment was going to give a very hope and kind of medicine remedy to humanity. And mind my words, as his words, he said that these experiments one day will be done by Western scientists, and the Indian philosophers, Indian spiritualists, Indian scientists will follow them, as Indian people have lost this chance and opportunity. And though this is a personal loss for me, as my experiments has been intervened by the government, but still I will try it my best again and again. 12 years after, then in 1984, in Lonal ashram, the other part of the ashram. He did it, but he got unconscious, and the seekers, Bapardekar and other people, as they told me, or other people, and as it was published in the document, that they took him to the hospital, and then it took some months and years to regain his body and mind. So Swami Vidyananda is the first sannyasi scientist, to my knowledge, who did the out of body experiment to cure the body pains, to harness the out of the physical world experiences, uh, and to look the connection between the both body and physical world and non-physical world. In 1993, he got success in taking samadhi, and before taking samadhi, he had published a four uh, level of, that was actually a fiction, but that proved to be correct after that. It was not just a fiction, it was a scientific document. Shiva Shakti, he published it in 1990, 91, 93. That was the last part. And in that process, whole process, he had mentioned what is the samadhi and what is the meaning, how mind is detached from the body, what happens during the death process, what is clinical death, and actually in number of books, Mind Power, Know Your Death, and other Shraddha Yoga, and other books, he had also mentioned that guys, don't fear about death. One of the planning commission chairman, Mr. Somani, when he had come to meet Swamiji, Swamiji asked him, "What's your next plan?" So he said that I'm going here and there, then Mumbai and Kolkata. So Swamiji asked him, "What kind of planner are you? If you are not plan about the death, because that's the final destination. Whether tomorrow you can go to Kolkata or not, but death is coming to you, right? So why don't you plan for that?" So all Swamiji wanted to say and teach us and people that, look guys, death is not the final destination, death is not bad, that is just an experience. Death is leaving the mind body, its physical existence, to acquire a new physical existence. And Swamiji also said that, okay, a rebirth is possible, it is logical, but don't take the rebirth. Just get out of this vicious cycle of life and death. Why you're again coming back to the again body and going through the same pain and suffering? So let us train your mind to get rid of this physical existence and live happily in a spiritual world, when it's a mind of its own world. Why you need this tiny physical thing to uh, to be happy, to be at your best, to be being, and to be at to get the mental peace. So now, if you consider this from the point of view quantum mechanics, you'll understand that body is a physical thing, right? Because it has different kind of dimensions, width, height, length, and it occupies space, something like that. But the other quantum mechanical, I mean, the basic quantum mechanical view is that, कौन है? हाँ, नंतर नंतर मैं रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहा हूँ, sorry. So other medical view is that once people is die, there is no existence of atma or spiritual or knowledge, anything. Now, I'm not talking about my experiences, because my case is actually out of body experiment, which I'm going to talk about in the next video, with Swami Vidyananda's mind, and also ADC, which is after death communication, as a medium. And I'm going to give you very mind blowing, unbelievable experiences, which are proven and corroborated with the data and real time stories and events and incidences. So, this is my first video on the death. So, there are 3-4 takeaways from this first video. First is that death is not real, it is just a phenomenon, it is just an experience, it's not the end of life. Death is not bad. Okay, if somebody in your dear and near ones are dying on bed, pray for them. because they are experiencing the whole life in a fraction of a second. Sometimes the people who are on deathbed can get their life back, so don't hurt them. Once your loved dear ones and near ones leave their body, still their minds are engaged to that certain time space, though the body is vanished, though the body is gone, it's burned in the or it is buried, you know, the mind space which mind is very used to, which very habitual of, they remain it in the time space zone, and that can give you happiness. Sometimes it can give you pain happening. Sometimes the mind share its pain and happiness to the loved ones. Sometimes that mind try to communicate to not the people who are there actually. Even that is also evidence and experiences of non-locality. Sometimes the dear ones, those who are abroad or they are not locally present at the time of death. So in the hospitals, if you ask doctors, nurses, people, patients, case studies after case studies are coming that near death experiences are valid. People who have been declared as clinically dead, they have seen something in the hospital or in surrounding area, and they can retrieve their memory when uh, they were experiencing the non-physical uh, existence. So we will talk about some case studies, and I will also tell you what exactly happened in my case, and I will also tell you that why this is must, because the fear of death should be removed from your mind. We should be fearless. We should not fear about death. We should be proud about it. We should, if somebody is dying, okay, pray for them. Okay, pray for them. Be detached. Pray for them. Their mind feel comfort, happy, peaceful. And that's what ultimate aim is of the humanity is. Okay, so people die in accidents. People die because of diseases. So you get panic, of course, because your attachment with that physical reality of that person uh, is very deepened, and you get hurt. You feel loss, but you also understand from the knowledge point of view and experiment and data and experiences and spiritualist and the tradition and the scientific data is coming up that the person who you loved so much deeply is liberated from the body, from the trap, from that pain and suffering. So you should be in a sense happy, not at the moment of death, because then people will think you are crazy, stupid, or bastard or something like that. And of course, when you see the person is dying, you feel bad, you feel sorry for that, because that pain is not bearable from that person's mind or yourself. But once that process is done, once that's happened, you should uh, pray for that mind. You should comfortable yourself. You should be very we should be very comfortable that mind is liberated out of the body, and that mind should be rest in the space and comfort. So that's my first video on the death, and then I will continue on medical study, case studies, my experiences, and how Swamiji did experiment on me as out of body experiment, how he tried to communicate me after his samadhi, and how what happened in my life, how it's related with samadhi, and why I did not die when actually I must die. I should have been died actually. There were 8 to 10 incidents that I should have been died, but I did not. I don't know. Maybe my mind has some mission to complete, or maybe my mind is still looking for something. Though I'm fully prepared to die, you know, because I'm not worried about the death. I'm welcoming it. But I guess there is something to be done. I don't know. Let's see. So let's take you on the journey of, and my whole purpose is to reduce the anxiety, fear, panicness about the death. Okay, that's my whole intention to launch this video.